Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to our channel, where we talk about real relationships, real wisdom, and real protection for women who deserve nothing but the best. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found us. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back to our community of strong, intelligent women. Before we dive into today's crucial topic, I want you to do me a huge favor. If you find value in what we discussed today, please hit that like button. It really helps our channel reach more women who need to hear these messages. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest content. Your engagement means the world to us, and if you're feeling extra generous, consider supporting our channel with super thanks. Every bit of support helps us continue creating content that empowers and protects women like you. Now, let's talk about something that could literally change your life. Today, we're discussing warning signs that every older woman needs to recognize. These aren't just casual red flags we're talking about. These are the kinds of statements that should make you grab your purse, put on your shoes, and walk away without looking back. You know, there's something particularly insidious about how certain men target older women. They think we're more vulnerable, more desperate, and more willing to overlook obvious problems because we're supposedly grateful for any attention. Well, I'm here to tell you that's complete nonsense. You are not desperate. You are not less valuable because of your age. And you deserve a partner who treats you with respect, honesty, and genuine care. Over the years, I've heard countless stories from women who wished they had recognized the warning signs earlier. Stories of women who ignored their gut instincts because they thought they were being too picky or too demanding. Stories of women who settled for less than they deserved because someone convinced them that their standards were too high for their age. But here's the truth that nobody talks about. Older women are actually in a position of power when it comes to relationships. You have experience. You have wisdom. You know what you want and what you don't want. You've likely been through enough to recognize patterns and behaviors that younger women might miss. So why would you settle for someone who doesn't appreciate all of that? The statements we're going to discuss today aren't just annoying or inconsiderate. They're actually manipulation tactics. They're designed to make you question your worth, lower your standards, and accept treatment that you would never have tolerated when you were younger. But age doesn't mean you should accept less. If anything, it means you should demand more. So whether you're recently divorced, widowed, or just entering the dating scene later in life, this video is for you. Whether you're currently in a relationship and starting to notice some concerning patterns, or you're single and want to know what to watch out for, these insights could save you months or even years of heartache. Remember, recognizing these warning signs isn't about being cynical or closed off to love. It's about being smart, being selective, and protecting your heart and your peace of mind. You've earned the right to be choosy. You've earned the right to have standards. And you've certainly earned the right to walk away from anyone who makes you feel less than the incredible woman you are. Let's start with one of the most common and dangerous things you might hear. You should be grateful someone like me is interested in someone your age. If a man ever says anything remotely close to this, I want you to stop whatever you're doing and really listen to what he's telling you about himself. This statement reveals so much about his mindset and his intentions. First, it shows that he sees your age as a deficit, as something that makes you less desirable or less worthy of respect. Second, it positions him as doing you a favor by being interested in you, which immediately creates an unequal power dynamic where you're supposed to be grateful and accommodating rather than being treated as an equal partner. The truth is, any man worth your time will see your age and your experience as assets, not liabilities. He'll appreciate your wisdom, your independence, your confidence, and all the things that come with having lived a full life. He won't see himself as settling or doing you a favor. He'll consider himself lucky to have found someone with your depth and maturity. When someone suggests that you should be grateful for their interest based on your age, they're essentially telling you that they believe they're out of your league and that you should lower your expectations accordingly. This is a manipulation tactic designed to make you feel insecure and willing to accept less than you deserve. The reality is that many men your age and younger are absolutely attracted to older women for all the right reasons. They appreciate the confidence that comes with age, the emotional maturity, the lack of drama that often comes with younger women, and the fact that older women typically know what they want and aren't afraid to ask for it. Another massive red flag is when he says, "I don't usually date women your age, but you're different." This might sound like a compliment at first, but let's break down what he's really saying. He's telling you that he typically considers women your age undateable, but he's making an exception for you. This is not the compliment he thinks it is. What this statement really means is that he has prejudices against women your age. And even though he's supposedly making an exception for you, those prejudices are still there, lurking beneath the surface. It means that at some point, when the initial excitement wears off, he's likely to start seeing you through the lens of those same prejudices he holds about older women in general. Furthermore, this statement often comes with the unspoken expectation that you should be extra grateful and extra accommodating, because he's supposedly going against his usual preferences for you. It's another way of creating that unequal power dynamic where you feel like you owe him something for giving you a chance. A man who truly appreciates older women won't feel the need to point out that you're an exception to his usual rule. He'll simply be attracted to you for who you are, without making it about your age, or making you feel like you're lucky he's interested despite your age. Here's another statement that should send you running. "You're so much more mature than women my age." While this might seem like a compliment, especially if he's younger than you, it's actually a huge red flag that reveals some concerning things about his psychology and his intentions. Men who specifically seek out older women while disparaging women their own age often have issues with power and control. They may feel intimidated by women their own age who might challenge them or have similar levels of life experience. They may be looking for someone they perceive as more nurturing or motherly, which can lead to an unhealthy dynamic where you end up taking care of him rather than having an equal partnership. Additionally, men who make these kinds of statements often have unrealistic expectations about what dating an older woman will be like. They may expect you to be completely drama-free, endlessly understanding and willing to cater to their needs without having any needs of your own. When reality doesn't match their fantasy, they often become resentful and critical. The phrase, "at your age," is something you should never tolerate in any context. Whether it's, "at your age, you should be happy with whatever you can get," or "at your age, you can't afford to be picky," or "at your age, you should understand that men have options." These statements are all designed to make you feel like your age is a liability that limits your choices and your worth. Let me be crystal clear about something. Your age is not a limitation. Your age represents experience, wisdom, confidence, and strength. Your age means you've survived challenges, learned lessons, and developed a sense of self that younger women are still working on. Your age is something to be celebrated, not something that should make you settle for less. Any man who uses your age as a reason why you should lower your standards or accept poor treatment is showing you exactly who he is. He's showing you that he doesn't respect you, that he doesn't value what you bring to the table, and that he's looking for someone he can manipulate and control. Here's another statement that might sound caring but is actually quite manipulative. "I want to take care of you because you've been through so much." While it's natural to want to care for someone you love, this particular phrasing often masks some problematic assumptions and intentions. When a man says this, he might be assuming that you're damaged or broken because of your past experiences. He might be positioning himself as your savior or rescuer, which creates an unhealthy dynamic where you're supposed to be grateful and dependent rather than being an equal partner. Moreover, men who lead with this kind of statement often use it as a way to justify controlling behavior later on. They might say things like, "I'm just trying to protect you," or I know what's best for you because you've been hurt before, when they want to control your decisions or isolate you from friends and family. A healthy partner will certainly want to support you and care for you, but they'll do so while respecting your independence and your ability to make your own decisions. They won't see your past experiences as something that makes you broken or in need of saving. They'll see your resilience and strength in having overcome challenges. Financial manipulation is particularly common when targeting older women, and you need to be very aware of statements like, "Since you're financially secure, you won't mind paying for," or "I know you can afford it because you've had more time to save." These statements reveal someone who is specifically interested in your financial resources rather than in you as a person. Some men target older women precisely because they assume these women have more financial stability, whether from divorce settlements, inheritance, retirement savings, or simply having had more years to accumulate wealth. They may present themselves as partners while actually looking for someone to financially support them or fund their lifestyle. Be particularly wary of men who seem very interested in your financial situation early in the relationship, who suggest expensive activities but never offer to pay, who have sob stories about temporary financial difficulties, or who seem to have lifestyle expectations that don't match their own income level. Your financial security is something you worked hard for, and it's not something you should feel pressured to share with someone who hasn't earned that level of trust and commitment from you. A man who truly cares about you will want to contribute equally to the relationship, regardless of what he assumes about your financial situation. One of the most insidious things you might hear is, "You're not like other women your age who are bitter and demanding." This statement is problematic on multiple levels. First, it's disparaging toward other women, which should always be a red flag. Second, it's implying that having standards and expectations is the same as being bitter and demanding. This statement is designed to make you feel special and different, while simultaneously warning you not to develop the same demanding standards that he attributes to other women your age. It's a preemptive strike against you advocating for yourself or having expectations in the relationship. The truth is that women who are called bitter and demanding are often simply women who know their worth and aren't willing to accept poor treatment. They're women who have learned from experience and developed healthy boundaries. These are positive traits, not negative ones. A man who respects women won't feel the need to put down other women to make you feel special. He certainly won't use other women's standards as a cautionary tale to prevent you from developing your own standards. Here's another statement that should concern you. "I prefer older women because they don't play games." While this might sound like a compliment, it often reveals unrealistic expectations about what dating an older woman will be like. Men who say this often expect older women to be completely straightforward and drama-free, while offering nothing similar in return. They may expect you to always communicate directly, while they remain mysterious or emotionally unavailable. They may expect you to be understanding and flexible, while they continue to be selfish and demanding. Furthermore, this statement often comes with the expectation that you'll be sexually available and experienced without any of the emotional complexity that comes with actual human relationships. They want the benefits of your maturity without having to deal with your needs, your feelings, or your expectations. Real relationships involve some level of complexity, regardless of age. Healthy communication, working through disagreements, and navigating emotions aren't playing games. They're normal parts of human relationships. A man who expects you to be completely uncomplicated is probably not prepared for a real relationship with a real person. Sexual pressure often comes disguised as compliments when targeting older women. Statements like, "I bet you know how to please a man," or "older women are so much better in bed," or "you must be so experienced," are all red flags that this person is primarily interested in you for sexual reasons. These statements reduce you to your perceived sexual experience and availability. They suggest that your value lies primarily in what you can do for him sexually, rather than in who you are as a complete person. They also create pressure for you to live up to his fantasies about older women, rather than being able to be yourself. Additionally, men who lead with sexual compliments or assumptions often become demanding or critical if reality doesn't match their expectations. They may pressure you to engage in activities you're not comfortable with, or they may lose interest quickly if you don't immediately fulfill their sexual fantasies. Your sexuality is a part of who you are, but it's not the only part, or even the most important part. A man who is truly interested in building a relationship with you will be interested in your mind, your personality, your interests, your values, and all the other aspects of who you are. Another major red flag is when he says, "You should understand that men need variety at our age." This statement is often used to justify cheating, emotional affairs, or keeping his options open while expecting you to be monogamous and committed. This is a manipulative statement that uses age as an excuse for poor behavior. The implication is that as people get older, men somehow develop a biological need for multiple partners that women should just accept and understand. This is not true, and it's not something you should ever accept. Men who say this are essentially asking you to agree to a relationship structure where they get to have multiple partners while you remain faithful and understanding. They're using your age and maturity as reasons why you should be cool with this arrangement that clearly benefits only them. Commitment and fidelity are choices, not biological imperatives that change with age. A man who wants to be with you will want to be with you exclusively, regardless of his age or yours. If he's not ready for that level of commitment, he should be honest about it rather than trying to manipulate you into accepting a situation that makes you uncomfortable. Here's a statement that might sound sweet but is actually quite problematic. "I love that you don't need me." While independence is certainly attractive, this statement often reveals someone who wants the benefits of a relationship without any of the responsibilities or emotional investment. Men who are specifically attracted to your independence often don't want to provide emotional support, companionship, or partnership. They want someone who will enhance their life without requiring anything from them in return. They may disappear when you actually do need support, claiming that your independence is what attracted them to you in the first place. Healthy relationships involve some level of interdependence. While it's important to maintain your individual identity and capabilities, it's also normal to need support, companionship, and partnership from your romantic partner. A man who loves that you don't need him may not be prepared to be there when you do need him. Furthermore, this statement often comes with the expectation that you'll continue to be completely self-sufficient, while also providing support and care for him. It's another way of creating an unequal dynamic where you give more than you receive. Time pressure is another tactic you should watch out for. Statements like, "At our age, we shouldn't waste time playing around," or "We're too old to take things slow," or "We don't have time for long courtships," are all designed to rush you into commitments before you've had time to really get to know him. While it's true that older adults often have a clearer sense of what they want in relationships, this doesn't mean you should skip important steps, like getting to know each other, building trust, and making sure you're compatible. These things take time regardless of your age. Men who pressure you to move fast are often trying to get you committed before you discover things about them that might make you reconsider. They may be hiding financial problems, emotional issues, relationship history, or other red flags that would become apparent with more time. Your age doesn't mean you have to settle for the first person who shows interest. Your age doesn't mean you have to skip important relationship milestones. Your age means you have the wisdom and experience to know that good relationships are built on solid foundations, and solid foundations take time to establish. Another concerning statement is, "You're so different from my ex-wife." While it might seem like a compliment, this statement often reveals that he hasn't processed his previous relationship and is looking for someone who represents the opposite of his ex rather than someone he genuinely connects with. Men who are constantly comparing you to their ex-wife, even favorably, are showing that they're still emotionally tied to that previous relationship. They may be using you to work through their feelings about their ex rather than building a genuine connection with you. Furthermore, being valued primarily for how different you are from someone else is not the same as being valued for who you are. What happens when he discovers that you actually have some things in common with his ex? What happens when the novelty of how different you are wears off? A man who is ready for a new relationship will be interested in you for your own qualities, not for how you compare to his previous partners. He should be able to talk about his past relationships in a mature way without constantly bringing them up or using them as a measuring stick for your relationship. Financial future planning conversations can also reveal red flags, especially when he says things like, "Since you're established, we could travel the world together," or "With your resources and my freedom, we could have a great life." These statements often reveal someone who is making assumptions about your financial situation and making plans that involve your money. Be wary of men who seem to have elaborate plans for your future together that conveniently require your financial resources. Be especially concerned if these conversations happen early in the relationship, before you've established real trust and commitment. Your financial security is something you should protect, and you should never feel pressured to make financial commitments or share financial resources with someone who hasn't proven themselves trustworthy over time. This includes everything from paying for expensive dates to co-signing loans to combining finances. Here's another statement that reveals problematic thinking. Younger women are so much drama, but you're so peaceful. This statement shows that he's specifically seeking older women to avoid what he perceives as the complications of dating women his own age or younger. Men who say this often have unrealistic expectations about older women being completely drama-free and low maintenance. They may expect you to never have needs, never be emotional, never disagree with them, and never require any effort on their part to maintain the relationship. The reality is that all relationships require effort, communication, and compromise. All people, regardless of age, have emotions, needs, and occasional conflicts. A man who expects you to be completely peaceful and uncomplicated is probably not prepared for a real relationship with a real person. Moreover, this statement often reveals that he hasn't learned to handle normal relationship challenges like communication, compromise, and emotional support. Instead of developing these skills, he's looking for someone who supposedly won't require them. Social isolation is often attempted through statements like, "We don't need anyone else," or "Your friends just don't understand our connection," or "Your family is just jealous of what we have." These statements are designed to gradually separate you from your support system. Isolation is a classic tactic of emotional manipulation and abuse. By convincing you that other people don't understand or support your relationship, he's attempting to make you dependent on him for social connection and validation. Your friends and family members who care about you deserve consideration when they express concerns about your relationship. While they may not always be right, they often have perspectives that you can't see when you're emotionally involved. A healthy partner will want to get to know your friends and family and will encourage those relationships. He'll understand that your connections with other people are important to your well-being and won't try to interfere with them. Another red flag statement is, "I don't believe in labels," when you ask about the status of your relationship. This is often a way of avoiding commitment while keeping you available and invested in the relationship. At your age, you have every right to want clarity about where you stand with someone. You have the right to know if you're in an exclusive relationship, if you're working toward a future together, or if you're just casually dating. Ambiguity serves his interest, not yours. Men who don't believe in labels often still want all the benefits of a committed relationship: emotional support, regular companionship, sexual intimacy, and exclusivity from you, while maintaining the freedom to pursue other options for themselves. If someone cares about you and wants to build a future with you, they'll be happy to define the relationship in whatever terms make you feel secure and valued. They won't make you feel demanding or needy for wanting clarity about where you stand. Past trauma is often weaponized through statements like, "I know you've been hurt before, so you should understand why I have trust issues," or "because of what your ex did to you, you should know why I need space." These statements use your past experiences to justify his poor behavior or emotional unavailability. Your past experiences, including difficult ones, don't obligate you to accept less than you deserve in current relationships. Having been hurt before doesn't mean you should understand and accept when someone treats you poorly. If anything, your experience should help you recognize patterns and protect yourself better. A caring partner will understand that past hurts might make you cautious, and they'll be willing to work patiently to build trust. They won't use your past against you or use it as an excuse for their own issues. Everyone has a past, and everyone has experienced some level of hurt or disappointment, but mature adults work on healing from their past rather than using it as an excuse to avoid responsibility in current relationships. Control often starts with seemingly caring statements like, "I just worry about you driving at night," or "I don't think that friend is good for you," or "you should let me handle that for you." These statements might seem protective, but they're often the beginning of attempts to control your decisions and limit your independence. Your age and experience mean that you're capable of making your own decisions about driving, friendships, and handling your own affairs. A partner who truly cares about you will respect your autonomy and decision-making abilities. Be particularly wary of men who want to take over tasks that you're perfectly capable of handling yourself, especially if they use your age as a reason why you need their help. This often escalates into more serious control over time. Protection and control can look very similar on the surface, but protection respects your autonomy while control seeks to limit it. A protective partner will express concerns and offer support while respecting your right to make your own choices. Social media and technology often become sources of conflict, especially when he says things like, "Social media is for young people," or "You don't need to be posting pictures online," or "Why do you need to text your friends so much?" These statements often reveal discomfort with your independence and social connections. Your age doesn't disqualify you from using technology or social media. If you enjoy staying connected with friends online, sharing photos, or using dating apps if you're single, these are perfectly normal activities regardless of your age. Men who try to shame you for your technology use are often concerned about your ability to connect with other people or maintain independence. They may be worried that you'll meet other people or that your online activity will reveal information about your relationship that they'd prefer to keep private. Your communication with friends, your social media activity, and your technology use are your choices to make. A supportive partner might not share your interests in these areas, but they won't try to shame you or control your participation in them. Future planning often reveals red flags when he makes statements like, "We should sell your house and travel," or "You should retire early so we can spend more time together," or "Why do you need to keep working when you could be enjoying life?" These statements often involve major life changes that would benefit him, while potentially putting you at risk. Be very cautious about anyone who suggests major changes to your living situation, financial situation, or career, especially early in the relationship. These suggestions often serve their interests more than yours. Your home, your career, and your financial security are things you've worked hard to establish. Any changes to these areas should be carefully considered and should genuinely serve your best interests, not just his preferences or convenience. A partner who truly cares about your well-being will want you to maintain your security and independence, even if it means some inconvenience for them. They'll be willing to work around your commitments rather than asking you to give them up. Medical and health decisions are another area where you might hear concerning statements. Things like, "You don't need to bother your doctor about that," or "You should try this natural remedy instead of your medication," or "You worry too much about your health," are all red flags. Your health decisions are yours to make, and you should never feel pressured to avoid medical care or change your health routines because someone else thinks you're being overly cautious or unnecessary. Men who discourage you from maintaining your health, seeing your doctors, or taking your medications are showing a concerning disregard for your well-being. This behavior often escalates and can become dangerous. Your experience and age mean that you understand your body and your health needs. Trust your instincts and maintain your health routines regardless of what anyone else thinks about them. Family relationships often become targets with statements like, "Your adult children are too dependent on you," or "You need to establish better boundaries with your family," or "Your grandchildren are taking up too much of your time." These statements are often attempts to isolate you from important relationships. Your relationships with your children, grandchildren, and other family members are important parts of your life. While it's normal for partners to discuss finding balance between family time and couple time, it's not normal for someone to try to eliminate or severely limit your family relationships. Be particularly wary of men who seem resentful of time you spend with family or who try to create conflict between you and your loved ones. This is often a sign of someone who wants to be the center of your world rather than an important part of it. Your family relationships existed before this romantic relationship, and they should continue to be important parts of your life. A mature partner will understand this and will want to find ways to fit into your life rather than replacing important relationships. Personal appearance often becomes a source of criticism disguised as concern. Statements like, "You'd be even more beautiful if you," or "Have you considered doing something about," or "Women your age should avoid," are all unacceptable attempts to change your appearance to suit his preferences. You have the right to look exactly how you want to look. Your clothing choices, your hairstyle, your makeup decisions, and any cosmetic procedures you might consider are entirely your decisions to make. A man who truly cares about you will find you attractive as you are. He might have preferences, but he won't try to pressure you to change your appearance to suit his tastes. Your confidence and comfort with your appearance are more important than conforming to someone else's ideas about how you should look. This is especially true as an older woman, when society already puts enough pressure on you to look younger or different. Personal history and past relationships often become subjects of inappropriate questioning or judgment. Statements like, "Tell me about all your past relationships," or "How many men have you been with?" or "I need to know everything about your past," are invasive and unnecessary. While it's normal for partners to share some information about their past relationships, you're not obligated to provide a detailed history of your romantic or sexual life. Your past is your private business, and you can choose what you want to share and when. Men who demand detailed information about your past are often looking for information they can use against you later, or they're trying to determine if you meet their standards for previous experience. Your past relationships and experiences have made you who you are today, but they don't define your worth or your suitability as a partner. A mature man will be interested in who you are now, rather than being obsessed with your history. Living arrangements often become sources of pressure with statements like, "We should move in together to save money," or "It's silly for us to both pay rent," or "We're spending so much time together anyway." These practical-sounding arguments often mask attempts to rush intimacy or gain access to your living space and resources. Moving in together is a major decision that should be based on your readiness for that level of commitment, not on financial, convenience, or practical arguments. Your home is your sanctuary, and you should never feel pressured to give up that privacy and independence before you're truly ready. Be especially cautious if he seems very interested in your living situation, or if he starts spending more and more time at your place without officially moving in. This can be a way of gradually establishing residency without making a formal commitment. Your living situation affects every aspect of your daily life, and changes should only be made when you're confident that the relationship is stable and committed enough to warrant that level of shared space and responsibility. Career and retirement decisions often become subjects of unwanted advice. Statements like, "You've worked hard enough," or "You should enjoy your retirement," or "Work is too stressful for someone your age," might sound caring, but often mask attempts to influence major life decisions. Your career decisions are yours to make based on your financial needs, your personal satisfaction, and your own goals. Whether you want to continue working, change careers, or retire should be entirely up to you. Be wary of anyone who seems very invested in your career decisions, especially if they're encouraging you to make changes that would affect your financial independence or daily structure. Your work may provide you with purpose, social connections, intellectual stimulation, and financial security. Any changes to your career situation should serve your interests and goals, not someone else's preferences for how you should spend your time. Gift-giving and financial gestures can also reveal red flags. Statements like, "I can't afford to take you nice places like you're used to," or "I wish I could buy you the things you deserve," or "You should let me borrow money for something special for you," are all concerning. These statements are often manipulation tactics designed to make you feel guilty about having more resources, or to set up scenarios where you end up paying for things while feeling like he's doing you a favor. A mature man will plan dates and activities within his budget and won't make you feel guilty about having different financial circumstances. He certainly won't ask to borrow money from you, especially early in the relationship. Your financial resources are not something you should feel guilty about or something you should feel pressured to share. A genuine partner will be happy for your success and security rather than trying to benefit from it or make you feel bad about it. Personal space and alone time often become issues when he says things like, "We're so good together, why do you need space?" Or "I don't understand why you want to be alone," or "Couples should want to spend all their time together." These statements reveal someone who doesn't understand or respect your need for independence. Even in the best relationships, people need some time alone to recharge, pursue individual interests, and maintain their sense of self. This need doesn't diminish with age. If anything, older adults often have a clearer understanding of what they need to maintain their mental and emotional well-being. A partner who respects you will understand that wanting some alone time isn't a rejection of them or the relationship. They'll have their own interests and needs for space as well. Your need for personal time and space is not something you should have to justify or defend. It's a healthy part of maintaining your individual identity within a relationship. Communication styles often become sources of conflict when he says things like, "You're too sensitive," or "You're overthinking this," or "You're making a big deal out of nothing." These statements are forms of gaslighting designed to make you question your own perceptions and reactions. Your feelings and reactions are valid, and you have the right to express concerns or disagreements without being dismissed or minimized. Your age and experience actually make your perceptions more valuable, not less valid. Men who consistently dismiss your feelings or tell you that you're overreacting are showing that they don't respect your emotional intelligence or your right to have feelings about situations that affect you. Trust your instincts about situations and relationships. If something feels wrong to you, it probably is, regardless of what anyone else says about your reaction. Social activities and friendships often become targets with statements like, "Your book club is just gossiping," or "You don't need to go out with the girls so often," or "I should be enough entertainment for you." These statements reveal someone who doesn't value your social connections and interests. Your friendships and social activities are important parts of your life that contribute to your happiness and well-being. A supportive partner will encourage these connections, not try to diminish them or compete with them. Men who try to isolate you from your friends or make you feel guilty about social activities are often insecure about your independence or concerned that your friends might influence you to recognize problems in the relationship. Your social life existed before this relationship and should continue to be a priority. A mature partner will want to support your happiness, which includes your friendships and interests. Holiday and family traditions often become sources of conflict when he says things like, "We should start our own traditions," or "You're too old to be worrying about what your family thinks," or "We should spend the holidays together instead of with your family." These statements often reveal someone who wants to separate you from important relationships and traditions. Your family traditions and holiday celebrations are important parts of your life and your identity. While it's normal for couples to negotiate how to spend holidays and create some new traditions together, this should be a collaborative process that respects everyone's existing relationships and commitments. Be particularly wary of men who seem resentful of your family commitments or who try to make you choose between them and your family. This is often a sign of someone who wants to be your only priority rather than an important addition to your life. Your relationships with your children, grandchildren, and extended family are precious and irreplaceable. Protect these relationships and be suspicious of anyone who tries to interfere with them. Personal growth and learning often become targets with statements like, "You don't need to go back to school at your age," or "Why are you trying to learn new things?" or "You should." Be satisfied with what you already know. These statements reveal someone who doesn't support your continued growth and development. Your age doesn't mean you should stop learning, growing, or pursuing new interests. Many older adults find great satisfaction in continuing education, learning new skills, or exploring new hobbies. Your intellectual curiosity and desire for growth are positive traits that should be celebrated and supported. Men who discourage your personal growth often feel threatened by your independence and your ability to continue developing as a person. They may prefer you to remain static and dependent, rather than continuing to evolve and expand your horizons. Your commitment to personal growth shows wisdom and vitality. Never let anyone convince you that you're too old to learn something new or pursue something that interests you. Technology and independence often intersect in concerning ways when he says things like, "You don't need to learn how to use that," or "Let me handle all the technical stuff," or "You're too old to figure out these new gadgets." These statements are often attempts to maintain your dependence on him for things you could easily learn to do yourself. Technology skills are important for maintaining independence and staying connected with friends and family. Whether it's using a smartphone, navigating social media, or managing online banking, these skills help you maintain control over your own life. Men who discourage you from learning new technology skills or who insist on handling everything technical, for you are often trying to maintain control over your communication and your access to information. Your ability to learn and adapt hasn't disappeared because of your age. Don't let anyone convince you that you can't master new skills or technologies that would benefit your life. Health and fitness choices often become sources of unwanted input when he says things like, "You don't need to exercise so much," or "You're fine the way you are. Why change anything?" or "All those vitamins and supplements are a waste of money." These statements often mask discomfort with your commitment to maintaining your health and vitality. Your health and fitness routines are personal choices that contribute to your quality of life and your independence. Whether you enjoy going to the gym, taking walks, doing yoga, or any other form of physical activity, these choices are yours to make. Men who discourage your health and fitness efforts may be uncomfortable with your vitality and independence, or they may prefer you to be less active and more dependent on them. Your commitment to maintaining your health shows wisdom and self-care. Continue to prioritize your physical and mental well-being, regardless of what anyone else thinks about your efforts. As we wrap up today's discussion, I want you to remember something crucial. Recognizing these warning signs doesn't make you cynical or paranoid. It makes you smart. It makes you protective of the beautiful life you've built and the peace you've worked so hard to achieve. You are not too old to have standards. You are not too old to expect respect. You are not too old to walk away from someone who doesn't appreciate the incredible woman you are. In fact, your age and experience give you the wisdom to recognize these red flags and the strength to act on them. Every single statement we've discussed today is designed to make you question your worth, lower your standards, or accept treatment that you would never have tolerated when you were younger. But here's what I want you to understand. You deserve more now than you ever did. You deserve someone who sees your age as an asset, who respects your independence, who values your wisdom, and who feels grateful every day to be part of your life. Don't let anyone convince you that being alone is worse than being with someone who doesn't truly value you. Your peace of mind, your self-respect, and your independence are not things you should ever compromise for the sake of having a relationship. You've worked too hard and come too far to settle for less than you deserve. Remember that the right person for you will never make you feel like you should be grateful for their interest based on your age. They will never use your past experiences against you or try to isolate you from the people you love. They will never try to control your decisions or make you feel like you're too demanding for having basic expectations of respect and honesty. The right person will celebrate your independence while wanting to be part of your life. They will appreciate your wisdom while still treating you as an equal. They will be proud to be with you and will never make you feel like they're doing you a favor by being interested in you. If you're currently in a relationship and you've heard some of these statements, please don't ignore what your gut is telling you. Trust your instincts. Trust your experience. Trust the wisdom you've gained over the years. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And if you're single and dating, use this information to protect yourself. Don't ignore red flags hoping they'll improve over time. Don't make excuses for behavior that makes you uncomfortable. Don't settle for someone who makes you feel less than the amazing woman you are. Your life experience has given you incredible tools for recognizing patterns and making good decisions. Use those tools. Trust yourself. You've survived challenges, overcome obstacles, and built a life that you can be proud of. You don't need someone who sees any of that as a liability. Before I let you go, I want to ask you for a favor. If this video has helped you recognize something important about your own situation or relationships, please let me know in the comments below. Your experiences and insights help other women who might be going through similar situations. And please share this video with any women in your life who might benefit from hearing these messages. Whether it's your sister, your friend, your neighbor, or someone you know who's dating later in life, this information could make a real difference in their lives. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found value in today's discussion. Your likes help us reach more women who need to hear these important messages. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest content. For those of you who want to show extra support for our mission of empowering and protecting women, consider giving us a super thanks. Every bit of support helps us continue creating content that makes a real difference in women's lives. Remember, you are valuable exactly as you are. You are worthy of love and respect. You are not too old, too demanding, or too picky. You are simply a woman who knows her worth, and that is something to be celebrated, not compromised. Until next time, keep your standards high, trust your instincts, and never settle for less than you deserve. You've got this, and I've got your back. Take care of yourselves, beautiful souls, and I'll see you in the next video.